How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. This match was covered a little bit in brief detail in my new series, One Deck, 1 Month, featuring Speedroids, and obviously that's what we're playing in this match. So if you haven't checked that series out, feel free to do so. It's just basically a series where I play one deck exclusively for only 1 month's time. Take it to every local I go to and sort of see how well we can do with it. And we have a wide range of strategies to get through. We've already done Infernal Knight, and we're just about to finish up Speedroids. So here we are playing Speedroids against Invoked Dogmatika. And is getting started with the classic Alistair, Search Invocation, Al Mirage. Go for the Secure Garden play. I'm sure we've all seen this 1,000 times, but it works well. It's very consistent. Gets that negate on board very, very early on, and is now going to go for the Ecclesia. Now, a little backstory behind this match. I'm playing against my friend Adam here on the left, and we were testing a little bit the night before at a friend's house, and he was actually playing Zodiac Dogmatika. So that was the last thing I had seen him play. So I was a little surprised to see that he had switched back to the Invoked variant. But the Invoked variant, it does have its inconsistencies, of course, with drawing, Invocation and no Alistair, et cetera, or like getting to Alistair and not being able to get to Invocation if it gets negated or something, et cetera. So, I'm going to be resolving a Kite Drake here, and this right here is one of the main reasons I wanted to play 2 Kite Drake, is specifically for this matchup. So it's going to allow me to get a search since it was sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, and I'm going to go ahead and resolve that and search Terror Top. He's going to grab Shaddoll Schism off of the Apgalone and discard the excess Meltdown that he has. And there's a Triple Tactics Talent, and he's obviously going to put back the Terror Top right back into my deck. Take a look at the old hand there. We got Recovery, Dynatherium, Card Turbo, Blue Impala, and Sting the Poison. And all I know right now, I've got to play through the Fleur-de-Lis, the Mechaba, and the Shaddoll Schism, which is probably going to be proved to be the biggest challenge here. So yeah, but it's nothing I don't think Speedroids isn't capable of dealing with. We draw a copy of Triple Tactics Talent for turn ourselves. And I think this is while I was still playing 2 talents. And I'm still mixed on talents right now with the deck, but that's a story for another video. So we get started with Dynatherium, and we special summon out Card Turbo. Both just inherent summons, so he won't be able to chain Shaddoll Schism, luckily. But we've already gotten pretty far onto our plays here. We've already got a tuner and a non-tuner, so that means a synchro play can happen next. Specifically a level 7. So he's going to go ahead and shotgun immediately right for that window before I go any further, and basically make it so I've got to make a decision at this point. And that decision is going to be to synchro for Clearwing Fast Dragon. I do realize there's a bit of a glare, but that is Clearwing Fast Dragon. Basically says quick effect, you can target one monster that was special from the extra deck, negate its effects, and drop its attack and defense to 0/0. So it's a pretty solid card to have right now, especially when I'm staring down a Mechaba and a window. We're going to start with Sting the Poison. And that's going to go ahead and search a copy of the Pin the Bullseye. Now, Sting does have a unique effect where it contribute another insect I control to negate a card my opponent controls, a monster. But I need to attribute one other insect. So I'm not actually going to be able to get the pin on the field right now to be able to, respond to either his Mechaba or that Fleur-de-Lis in hand. So it's kind of a tough situation to be in. I'm going to have to try to force something out in the battle phase here. Or force something out with the Clearwing Fast Dragon, because right now the window's the biggest threat. I've got Speed Recovery in hand and other extenders as well, so I'm just trying to play through that the best that I can. It sucks to draw the Blue Impala. That was probably the worst thing I could have drawn. So we're going to start with Clearwing Fast Dragon. We're just going to try to go right for the window, see what he does. Fleur-de-Lis happens, so that's going to get negated, and then we're going to go ahead and Triple Tactics Talent. And I have 2 options. It's either draw 2 cards, or steal one of his monsters, because looking at his hand right now is not, in my opinion, the best thing to do. Drawing 2 cards is a little greedy, so I figured, you know what, we need to still deal with this this window, and I know he has an Alistair in his hand, so I was expecting that maybe he would, take it or, drop the Alistair over the Mechaba, but we could technically just use the Mechaba then at that point to negate it, and we have the discard fodder in hand since he hasn't used his Mechaba's effect yet this turn. So now that the wind is cleared, we have a chance to actually start playing with the Clearwing Fast Dragon already on board, which is kind of nice. So we're going to summon that pin, and we're going to go ahead and link 2 into the Rubber Band Shooter. Now, earlier I talked about how I really wish I had a second copy of Kite Drake instead of playing Hama the Conquering Bow. I do end up banishing an 8 here, which I believe is Hama, which I'd ideally no longer be playing, so I could have just banished a copy of Crystal Wing at this point. We get Rubber Band playing to hand, but it's fine because we can use Speed Recovery to bring back Tekatomborg and summon out Rubber Band Shooter just like that, so we can tag out for Duke now. Special summon a Speedroid Tuner from our deck by tributing it. It's the effect of Tekatomborg that many people really aren't familiar with. I'm sure everybody's played Triple Top and One Tom before, but no one ever uses the Tekatomborg effect because it's really only valuable in Speedroids, which no one ever really plays, unfortunately, because I think this deck is actually really fun and kind of underrated, to be honest. Especially with the new Datascape stuff coming out. We get a pretty nice level 9 Synchro, which is kind of like a walking macrocosmos. But here, this is the point where if I had another Kite Drake, I would make it right now, no questions asked. And yeah, I'd sacrifice my own Clearwing. And yeah, this is a part that also throws me off with the whole COVID rules and everything. You know, you're not supposed to put your opponent's cards on your mat, things like that. So I didn't really fully see the Mecha build as being on my field. So I'm like, well, how do I make the best of the situation here? I'm not going to make a Crystal Wing. I can't make a Crystal Wing because I need a level 5 Synchro here, which I don't have. I don't have access to Hagoita just yet. So I still commit to the Auroradon, even though I can't summon the tokens. I'm just going to use it to tribute his Mechaba to clear the Maximus on his field, which I have to do. Hindsight's 2020. I maybe should have cleared the Meltdown. But then again, he can just start his turn off with a Maximus and fire off a few Entis, and then like he can remove the Fast Dragon that way, which is problematic for us in either scenario. And it looks like he's gonna pick up a copy of Forbidden Droplet for turn. And if there's one thing I love losing to, it's Forbidden Droplet. That's why I really want a main deck anti-spell in my deck, because Forbidden Droplet just hurts so much. And to be totally honest, the only 3 spells we need to play in Speedroid is Speed Recovery. And if we're able to fire off 1 copy, at least during our first turn, you know, we can still use it under anti-spell in the grave, because it does have a secondary effect. It says you can banish it, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, to add back a Speedroid card from your grave, which is very advantageous. So, of course, going to start with the Meltdown, or not the Meltdown, the Invocation, rather, to summon Invoked Algodes. And on summon, it's going to have an effect to destroy, I believe, a monster on the field, on your opponent's side of the field. But either way, I cannot respond because of the Magical Meltdown. So he'll clear the Fast Dragon. Otherwise, I would have definitely negated with Fast Dragon. But I don't think it would have mattered so much since he does have another Fleur-de-Lis in his hand. So right now, he's just trying to figure out how he can get game on board. He does, like I said, have that other Fleur-de-Lis. He does have the Alistair in hand to be able to boost up the Algodes to 3,000. And the Forbidden Droplet can sort of clear away the Schism and the Meltdown here. The excess cards he really doesn't need. You see he's calculating the life points here. He is going to come to the conclusion that he does have lethal here. He'll be able to have the attack of Auroradon, which will bring it down to 1050. And have the attack of Rubber Band Plane to bring it down to 900. The fact that my Clearwing Fast Dragon gets scaled here via its own effect doesn't really make any difference in this situation. So he's going to summon the other Fleur. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to live. Okay, now maybe not after the Droplet. And then there's also the Alistair. So we're just going to take a lot of damage here. And it does end up just being game regardless. And then I believe we'll be heading into game 2 here shortly. Like I said, I don't know if having a Kite Drake there in game 1 would have made such a huge difference. I think it definitely would have helped instead of having to go into an Auroradon for basically no effect. But But it is what it is. Hopefully I'll get that second Kite Drake before this Saturday. So we're going to go into game 2 here. And I do want to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. If you guys are interested in either of these mats on the screen, you can get them on their site. Link to that down below. And you can get it for 10% off using my discount code WinterKills10OFF at checkout. And that's almost as good as having that one of Call by the Grave for a clutch Droll and Lock bird. And of course, if you guys want to support the channel just by shopping on tcgplayer.com, feel free to use my affiliate link. That is the first link down in the description below. If you guys shop and check out using that link, I'll receive a small portion of the revenue from your purchase, and it does help out greatly since it will go right back into the channel to help improve on gear and software, etc., since I will be needing a new computer sometime soon, sooner than later. So feel free to support the channel in those ways, and also consider becoming a member by clicking that join button, or even subscribing on Twitch. Link to my Twitch down below. So now that all that business is out of the way, getting back to the game here. As you can see, the only interaction that really happened that turn there was the Droll and Lock on the Desires. I really was hoping that would be it to shut the turn down, but he did have the one of Call By, and I guess, you know, fair enough for me. I've got the one of Pankratops. I know he's got punishment, so I'm just going to go right into the battle phase, and if he tries to use punishment, we can just chain Pank. The punishment will fizzle since the target is no longer there, and we still clear the Ecclesia. And main phase 2, yeah, we're just going to get rid of that punishment. And we're going to attempt to win, and I make a mistake here by discarding my only normal summon off the win. Just very, very reckless back then with how I use my Win the Win Chandler. If I use Win and pitch the Droll Knock bird in my hand, the other Droll, and stop trying to hold that as a way to, you know, that's possibly going to, you know, win me the game next turn by, you know, hoping a Droll Knock bird is enough. That's just kind of foolish on my behalf, I believe. So if I would have, you know, kept the Sting, I still have a follow-up normal summon. But it is what it is. Hindsight is, of course, 20/20. I always say it. It's always interesting to get that bird's eye view perspective. And I believe for turn here, I pick up a Tekka Tomborg, which is fantastic. We're going to use Talk and Tag for Duke. And at this point, we're seeing a level 8 synchro play be possible here. We're seeing a Link 2 play be possible here. I know I've got Sting the Poison engraved, so maybe, like, you know, I could possibly set up, I guess, a Cicada King route. You know, what's going to be more valuable here? Does he have hand traps? I mean, we know that he does. We see an Effect Valor in hand. I probably should have just went for Kite Drake. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know why I didn't just make Kite Drake. And even if he does have Effect Valor for Kite Drake, you know, we're still able to clear his Fleur-de-Lis and put something on field that's going to grant us Terror Top, especially in a simplified game state like this. And I guess another thing is he also does have Wind Pegasus at Ignister in his graveyard, so I guess that's kind of changing my play line, because if I do go for that, you know, he can just shuffle back the Kite Drake, and then we don't really have access to its effect, and we're sort of left out in the open. So I end up going for the greedier play here. But then again, I don't know. I probably should have just gone for the Kite Drake. I think that's probably what I should have done. Either use the board wipe effect or just use the negate effect. But this play also isn't so bad because I'm getting into Rubber Band Shooter without using my normal summon. So we're going to banish a 7 to try to get Top or Yo-Yo. See if we can get lucky. And we do not get lucky. It's just a sign of how things were going this night. And so we're going to normal summon that Terror Top for Car Turbo. We're going to summon Car Turbo. And we're going to go ahead and make a rank 3. So this is where the greed sort of comes in. As we're going to attempt to use our additional normal summon here. We can negate it because we do have a legal target in hand. And we can activate it because we do have a legal target in hand. I'm not going to try to hot cheat over that. Because technically you don't have to show your opponent that you have a card in hand to even normal summon. So we're going to attempt to use it. We're going to negate and detach. And we're going to try to activate Cicada King's other effect to turn it to defense. And then when that happens, we can special summon an insect from hand or grave. So he has Effect Valor. So that's where the Valor ends up being a huge pain. But at this point, we can still keep extending. So it's not so bad. We can go into Auroradon here. And if we had a Speed Recovery, something along the lines of that in our hand, we'd actually be able to make like a Crystal Wing here, which would be kind of nice. but we're forced to summon out Blue Impala here, which I think is only going to lead us to get a Raptite, which is just very, very underwhelming right now, because we don't have any, we can't overlay with a token, unfortunately, but you can overlay with trap cards. I don't know, it's just me being a little salty, I guess. This is like, there's no other good level 6 synchros to go into right now. Like, my only other option was maybe to go for Warblerin and then maybe go into a copy of Chambara, which I guess, looking back, is what I should have done, and I don't know why I didn't, unless the Warblerin is in my hand. I also maybe wasn't even playing Warblerin at this point, because I think for a little while, when I started to play this deck exclusively, I was just playing Blue Impala. So I think that's why I didn't go for it. So I'm able to attack in for a little bit of damage, and we're going to pass it back to him. And right now, I'm just hoping that my field is enough. But I know that an early battle phase will meet its demise. So I tried to use Cicada King here, but I understood Cicada King incorrectly. I thought it could negate whenever, but it does have to be whenever a monster effect is activated. So luckily, I'm able to catch that and not activate Cicada King illegally. We pick up a copy of Sting the Poison for turn, which is okay. It's not exactly what we're looking for. Don't have access to Duke or anything in the graveyard, and that copy of Droll and Lockbird is just sitting in my hand doing absolutely sweet FA. So you gotta love it. So we're gonna normal summon the Sting, and I actually do have an additional target in deck at this point because I still believe I was playing. Or no, we didn't even grab Pin the Bullseye yet. Okay, I thought I was gonna go for Twin Bow the Attacker, which I was playing for a little while. Another Battle Wasp card. So we'll search that, and this is actually pretty nice to have here because that'll allow us to access Martyr. But then again, that's only really gonna net us a rank 3 play. At this point, our options are only Leviair or Totem Bird, both of which aren't going to be able to do too much to get over that Fleur-de-Lis. So we are going to commit to the Synchro play, and we are going to attempt to activate its effect. And just hoping here it's going to go through, because we really desperately need it to go through. We're going to target Blue Impala. He does have impermanence. And at this point, I would love to make a level 9 Synchro, but we don't have the opportunity to do that. And we're going to have to pass turn. And picks up a copy of Maximus, it looks like, which is absolutely huge for him at this point. And absolutely devastating for us. And I think we still have a Kite Drake and a Chambara in our extra deck. So we're going to be able to send both of those and activate both of their effects, which is very nice. This is one of the reasons I think that, you know, in a sort of like a simplified game state, so to speak, or just overall, I guess, I think Speedroids has a pretty decent matchup against Invoked Dogmatika because you have so many good in-engine extra deck monsters that you can send that allow you to net advantage. So we're going to be able to add Marble Machine off of the Kite Drake, and we're going to also be able to recycle one back off of the Chambara, and we're going to add Tekatomborg. But again, this does come at the cost of us getting rid of some of our best extra deck monsters here. Which is super, super unfortunate. The only thing we have engraved that we can use is the Blue Impala. And at this point, I should be getting the read here that if he's wanting to take a look at our graveyard at this point, he's probably going to try to make a pretty big push. And I probably also should have used Raptite here. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I was afraid of Triple Tactics Talent. But he has the Fleur-de-Lis. And that's going to go right over top of the Raptite. And it's going to boost up to 3k. And I think we're already pretty low on life points here. Yeah, I think we're already at like 22. So attack over that and then swing in for game. And yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote for that one. Little upset with how I played here in this match. But I mean, at the end of the day, it still is a tough matchup regardless. I think it's definitely a very winnable matchup, to say the least. And I think one of the biggest things was that this was mainly my extra deck not being as good as I think it can be. Because I think definitely wish I would have had the second Kite Drake. Definitely wish at this point I was still playing the Warbird in the main deck. But all things we have addressed currently. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the match. Invoked Dogmatika taking it 2-0 against Speedroids. although this matchup has gone the other direction several times. So you guys might see it happen again in the future where Speedroid is victorious. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Share this video with a friend. Let me know what type of matchups you guys want to see in the future. I've got tons of feature matches coming down the road. And yeah, don't forget to check out the ways to support the channel down in the description. As always, guys, WinnerKill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members here on YouTube, Academic Thick, Zors, and Cadillacs84. Thank you guys so much for continuing to generously support the channel.